This is your permission slip to stop performing. One of the things I love doing in my work with The Way of the Satisfied Woman is giving women permission slips to stop doing the things that we've been overly trained to do that are actually harmful to us, detrimental to our soul, sucking our energy and causing a level of burnout that, frankly, none of us needs to be living with anymore. So if you're exhausted and you can't quite name why, it might be because you have been performing all day, every day, without maybe even realizing it. Like that smile that doesn't reach your eyes, that sexual climax that doesn't quite happen, the silence that you're forced to keep when you actually want to scream from the rooftops, the constant apologizing for taking up space, for having a need, for being too much. The pretending to be okay when you're not. The next time you say, I'm fine, and you're not, that is performance. And yes, for those of you watching on YouTube, there was a finger wag there. This is all invisible training that we have been indoctrinated to and lived a lifetime with. And I'm saying that you don't need to live with it anymore. It's actually detrimental to you, to the connections you make with other people, and to everyone around you. When the people that you are living with, working with, participating in life with don't get the real you, those are not authentic relationships. And everyone here on the planet desires intimacy. But no one can be intimate with the person wearing the mask. And look, I get it. I know that a lot of this performance that we're trained to do as women is a protection mechanism. It's a way to keep us safe. If we're pretty, maybe they'll want us. If we excuse ourselves, maybe they'll include us. If we shrink to fit their needs and pretend like we don't have any of our own, maybe they'll need us. But it never works out like that false promise says it should. We're the ones who are paying the cost. We're the ones who are getting left behind. We're the ones being discarded. We're the ones living without pleasure. And I want us to stop. I want all of us to stop. And the sooner we stop, the sooner the women around us will, and the women growing up, our young daughters and sisters will too. Look, I get the pressure. I get the safety. I remember one of the first times I recognized that I was performing. I was a young, broke yoga teacher in my early 20s in Colorado, teaching yoga way before it was cool. And there was only training time for money. I had to show up, otherwise I didn't get that paycheck. And I taught under the most excruciating circumstances, because I had to show up and perform for all of these people. And in that space, I felt like I had to be perfect and be my best self because I was teaching yoga. So I had to be calm, collected, cool as a cucumber, never feathers ruffled. I taught on a day that I was actually in 2 car accidents in 24 hours and in excruciating pain. And I showed up and moved around the room because I thought that's what they needed. I taught on the day of my grandfather's funeral because I couldn't find a substitute and otherwise I wouldn't get paid. And I knew in those moments how deeply cutting into my soul that was. How in those moments I just needed help. I needed rest. I needed an effing day off. And I couldn't take it because the world has taught us as women that our value lies in giving ourselves away. And we do that so often with this performance, with smiling when we're in pain, with suppressing the emotions because they'll inconvenience someone else, with apologizing for existing or apologizing for the bad behavior of those around us. If you've ever smiled through heartbreak or conflict, if you've ever diminished your needs, if you've ever said you're fine when you're not, that's performance. So look in the mirror and ask yourself, who are you doing this for? Who is this performance for? Who gets the benefit of this performance? And who pays the price? Now, everyone reinforces performance from women because everyone, the society, family, the culture, they don't want to see a woman's pain. They don't want to see a woman's emotions. It is just too inconvenient for them. They don't want to deal with it. And I get it. It is inconvenient. When a woman has an emotional or an intuitive response, when she needs rest, it will require other people to step up and respond, to change course, to fix it. And if other people are on, their own pathway and it derails them, that's inconvenient. And we've been taught that if we're inconvenient, if we derail someone, if we have needs that conflict with theirs, we are less important and we get left behind. Well, we're done with buying love through self-erasure. We're done. We're claiming our living space here on this planet. We're claiming our sovereign right to exist. We're owning our pain, our emotions, that smile that doesn't reach our eyes. We're owning the rest that we deserve to take that asks other people to step up and in on our behalf. We're owning our sovereignty where we sit in our throne and call others into the highest expression of who they are. Because that leaves us able to be the highest feminine expression of who we are. When women stop performing, when we get real, that is when the whole world gets real with us. That is where true intimacy arises. That's where true acceptance is possible. And that is where we will find the greatest gifts that femininity has to offer the world, which is that life force energy that breeds creativity, the receptivity that calls other people into their highest selves, that emotion and intuition that knows things before everyone else and calls the world into being better. With performance, those gifts fall away, and so do you. So, this is your permission slip to stop performing. And the next time you say you're fine, mean it, because it comes from the depths of your soul and you have reached a level of satisfaction that you never thought was possible.